the reason why it takes me so long to do these is the montage part. So go to your favorite YouTuber who does the montage. Say thank you, because this is the most work. Is the montage part. Okay, let's get into it. Starting off with fabric, I use these fabric quarters that you can find at Joann's or Michael's. They're 18 by 20 inches, and you can get about 2 headbands out of these. These quarter fabrics are really nice because they come in all different types of colors, solid or print designs. The only problem at the moment is since everyone's making their own masks for the pandemic, they're a little hard to come by, but you can also use this tutorial on regular fabrics that you buy by the yard. Just a little bit of tweaking is involved. So you're going to want to press out your fabric, get all the folds out, make it look cleaner, and it also helps you with cutting and make it a little bit more accurate with the measurements. So we're going to keep the 18 inches, but we're going to make it 5 inches tall, and we're going to be cutting 2 pieces out of it. If you're using by yard fabric, then make one long cut of 36 to 40 inches. It's up to you how long you want it, and then have it 5 inches width. So now we're going to pin these 2 pieces together so we can make one long piece. So if you did it with a longer piece of fabric, making the long cut, then you don't have to do this part. But if you're using the quarter fabric like I am, then you have to do this part. If you're using a fabric that has a pattern on it, then you're gonna want to have the right sides pinned together so the wrong sides are facing you. So we're going to sew these 2 pieces together, and I'm using the foot as a guide to having the fabric right along against the side so I can get it as close as possible. I'm going to be using a different color thread so you can see where I'm sewing, but you want your thread to match your fabric usually. And then we're just going to press that seam open to make it all flat. Then we're going to fold it in half. Right where we sewed it together, we're going to pin it down so we know exactly where that middle is. And then we're just going to pin it all down. And remember, if you use a pattern, to have the pattern on the inside and the wrong side facing you when you pin it. For the middle part, you need to leave a gap open for the wire. So I do about 2 finger width and use a pin to mark where I want to keep that opening. I'll keep the pins the same color so I know that's where I want the gap to be. Now we're going to cut those triangle ends. You want the top of it, the point, to be where the fold is and the opening to be where the bottom is. It just makes the sewing easier. It doesn't really matter, and you can just choose what angle you want. That part doesn't really matter that much either. So now we're just going to sew it all together. I like to start from where I put those pins earlier for the gap opening to make it easier, not only so I know that the gap is there when I'm done, but also it makes the end point pointier, so I know that I'm getting all the way down to the point instead of kind of guessing in the beginning. So that gap is not only just for the wire, but it's to help you flip it all inside out. So your pattern will be on the outside, and if you don't have a pattern, all your stitches will be on the inside. Then once you get to the ends, you're just going to poke them out with like a chopstick or something. Do not use your scissors, because when you poke them out, you're going to poke a hole through the ends and you're not going to be happy later. After the battle of turning it inside out, you're going to press it again to get all the wrinkles. You're also going to press inside, flip the open ends of the gaps inside and press those down. I use a 20 gauge wire. I usually use 18, but this is what I have on hand, which is fine. It's stiff and flexible enough for me. And then I also have pinchers and a wire cutter. So for each end of the point, we're going to make a loop to go at that triangle point. Then after that finished loop, we're going to flip it around and measure out the length of the headband, cut it, and make another loop. And then you're just going to insert your wire. After we insert the wire, we're going to pin down that gap so we can finish closing it. So the purpose of those loops is to sew down the wire so it doesn't move around in the headband. So you're just going to do a few stitches just to keep it in place. Now we're just going to finish up the headband and sew the gap closed. Don't worry about the stitching showing here because it's going to be at the bottom and back of your head, so no one's really going to see it. I hope this tutorial was helpful for the people who wanted to learn how to make them. I put a poll on my Instagram and everyone said yes to the video to learn how to make these, and here you go. I really do enjoy making these. That I just have a bunch more headbands now because this started to go, so I might sell them later. Who knows about that storefront happening because COVID, and again, I haven't worked since March, so we'll see what happens. I also hope you enjoy the video. For you to stick around, subscribe, stay a while, like, comment, share with your friends and family, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks and goodbye.